Hi guys, this is Pranjali J here and welcome back to Over the Binge. So Over the Binge is the channel where I talk to you about certain shows, movies and documentaries and tell you if they're worth your binge or not. Okay guys, so I recently watched The Haunting of Bly Manor for the second time and
it's perfectly splendid.
I really love the show. I really love how Mike Flanagan has adapted multiple stories by Henry James in this particular show. And if you have watched my previous video, I told you about the three stories that will be adapted in this show. I told you about the turn of the screw, the jolly corner, and the romance of certain old clothes. And I'm so happy that these particular stories were actually incorporated in The Haunting of Bly Manor. And today I'm going to tell you about the other stories that I did not talk about in my previous video that have also been written by Henry James and that have been adapted in this show. So without any further ado, let's get into the twists and turns of Haunting of Bly Manor and let's start with the first episode. So guys, if you've watched The Haunting of Bly Manor, and I assume that you have, you might have noticed that the first episode is about Danny's story, about what happens to Danny when she visits Bly Manor for the first time. In the beginning of the first episode, we see that Danny interacts with the children's uncle, Henry Wingrave, in his office, and that is when Henry tells Danny that Bly Manor is a great good place.
It's a great good place, the manor.
This particular phrase is also repeated by the narrator when she describes the Bly Manor, and Hannah Gross, housekeeper, also describes Bly Manor as a great good place.
Gorgeous. It is. It's a great good place and heaven for the children.
Now, this particular name, the Great Good Place, has been taken from another one of Henry James' novels, which was written back in the 1900s. And let's talk about what this novel was all about. So, this novel is all about the protagonist, person called George Dane, who is really tired of his busy life, and the only time that he finds some free time is when he's at home. And one day he's sleeping at his house, he's relaxing, and when he wakes up from his sleep, he finds an unexpected guest by his bed. This particular guest takes George to a great good place, a retreat where George really enjoys his time and he is able to recover from some of the tensions of his life. And he describes this place as a peaceful retreat, and he says that this place is actually a great good place. And that is exactly what happens with Danny in The Haunting of Bly Manor as well. In the first episode, we see that Danny has come to Bly Manor to sort of escape from her dark past involving her fiance, and when she comes to Bly Manor, she really enjoys this place and she finds some peaceful time and she's able to relax a little. That is how Mike Flanagan has adapted one of Henry James' novels in the first episode of this show. And yes guys, so that's it about the first episode, The Great Good Place. Let's move on to the second episode called The Pupil. So the second episode explores the relationship between Miles and one of his professors when he's back in the boarding school. When Miles is back at his boarding school, he is this very focused and brilliant child until he receives a letter from his sister, and that is when Miles begins acting strangely. He jumps off of a tree, he attacks his friend, and then later he kills his professor's bird. In one of the scenes, you can see the closeness between Miles and one of his professors and really the depth of their relationship. And this is when the professor is telling Miles that his well-being is his responsibility.
And I've made it clear that your well-being is my responsibility and priority moving forward.
So through this episode, you really understand the relationship, the close relationship between Miles and his professors, which is the basis of the novel Pupil, written by Henry James back in 1891. So this novel, The Pupil, also describes a close relationship between a pupil and his professor. So this story begins when a professor is hired by a family to tutor their child, and after a point of time, the parents, they suffer huge financial losses and they are no longer able to pay the tutor. This is when the tutor tells the family and the parents that he doesn't mind not getting paid, he is still going to tutor the child, and he develops such a deep, close relationship with the child. He says that the child's well being is his responsibility going forward. So, yes, guys, The Pupil, the novel, is a huge inspiration behind the second episode of The Haunting of Bly Manor. And yes, guys, so that's it for the second episode. Let's move on to the third episode. So the fourth episode is all about Dani's past, about her relationship with her ex-fiance, and in this episode we understand that Dani's ex-fiance was really very attached to her, very possessive about her, and he was actually kind of fixated with her. And when he understands that Dani doesn't love him back and Dani wants to break off the engagement, he gets very mad at her and he dies right after. He dies right after the fight, and that's when Dani starts getting haunted by the ghost of her ex-fiance. Now later on we understand that the ghost is still very fixated and possessive and jealous when Dani interacts with other people in a romantic way, and we see the ghost appear when Dani is close to Jamie in any manner. And yes, guys, through these scenes we understand that Dani's ex-fiance's ghost is still very fixated and jealous and possessive about her. Now these three feelings of jealousy, possessiveness and attachment, have also been explored in another one of Henry James' novels called The Way It Came, and this is the novel that this episode is inspired by. So The Way It Came is about two pen pals, a man and a woman, who bond over the fact that they saw their dead parents appear in front of them just before they died. These two people, the man and the woman, they have never met each other, and the only person that they have in common is the narrator of this tale. Later on, the narrator of this tale gets married to the man, but she's constantly jealous about the fact that her husband is still very attached to this female pen pal. That's how Mike Flanagan has adapted this particular Henry James tale called The Way It Came in The Haunting of Bly Manor. And yes, guys, that's it about this episode. Let's move on to the next one. So guys, throughout the episode we've seen Hannah Gross lighting candles for dead people, and she has her own way of honoring dead people. That's what she mentions in episode 4, and in episode 3 she lights candles for Owen's mom, and in episode 6 she's kind of surprised that Charlotte, Flora and Miles' mom has lit a candle for Sam, who's still alive. Now this particular thing of honoring the dead by lighting candles in the altar has been taken from another one of Henry James' novels called The Altar of the Dead. In this particular novel as well, the protagonist honors the dead by lighting candles for them. He has lost lot of people including his wife, and that is how he keeps them alive in his memories. And yes guys, so that's it about this episode. Let's move on to the next episode, which is actually very interesting. And yes guys, let's move on to that. Okay guys, so let's get into the 6th episode of The Haunting of Bly Manor, which is called The Jolly Corner. So in this particular episode we get to know details about the children's uncle Henry Wingrave and his life. So in this episode we understand that Henry Wingrave was having an affair with his brother's wife, and when his brother gets to know about this, he visits Henry at his office and he tells him a lot of things which really impacts Henry.
And yourself, Henry. Your real self. He's an evil shit.
He tells Henry that he pities his real self, his real alter ego, who is a really grotesque monster. Now, this is the time when Henry starts getting haunted by his own alter ego, and his alter ego is just as his brother described, really very evil, really grotesque, and he really makes Henry's life miserable. Now, this episode called The Jolly Corner, and the thing about Henry being haunted by his own alter ego has been taken from another one of Henry James' novels called The Jolly Corner. So guys, if you watched my previous video, I told you all about the story in detail. So that is the reason why I will not be telling you about the story that much in detail. But basically the story is about a man who comes back to his childhood home after many years living abroad, and when he comes to his childhood home, he starts getting haunted by his own alter ego, by the man he would have been if he had never left town. Now let's move on to the last episode of The Haunting of Bly Manor, which is called The Beast in the Jungle. So in the last episode, we understand that Danny leaves Bly Manor, but the lady in the lake never leaves Danny. The first 5 years of Danny's life after she leaves Bly Manor are very peaceful, and she develops a close bond with Jamie. Later on though, after 5 years, she starts seeing the lady in the lake in reflections at various places, and she fears for her life. She feels like the lady is waiting for her, just like a beast in the jungle. We also see that Danny fears for Jamie, and she doesn't want to harm her in any way. Now, this feeling of leaving your love out of fear has been taken from another one of Henry James' novels of the same name, The Beast in the Jungle. The Beast in the Jungle is about a man who is constantly fearful because he is being haunted by something evil. He has a belief that a catastrophic event is waiting for him, just like a beast in the jungle, and that is the reason why he never bonds with anybody. He has a close relationship, but over time he leaves this relationship out of this fear. Now, the same feeling we can see in the last episode, and we see that Danny leaves Jamie out of this fear, and later on she goes back to the lake and she returns back the lady in the lake, and she becomes the new lady in the lake. So yes guys, that was it about this video. That was it about the twists and turns in The Haunting of Bly Manor, and I hope you like this video. Please let me know down in the comment section below what you think about this particular video, and if you want me to make any other videos about The Haunting of Bly Manor, I would be happy to do that. I really love this show. I don't really love it more than Hill House. I think Hill House is better, but yes, I really love The Haunting of Bly Manor still. And yes guys, so that's it for this video. I will see you soon in my next video. Bye.